but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, kind of like a demon-esque gimmick, I guess you could say. Pretty good matchup, to say the least. The ending kind of left me again with like a head-scratching deal where I'm thinking, oh, that's how a dumpster match goes? You just throw them in the dumpster? I would have thought that at least, it's like, oh, throw them in the dumpster and then close the lid, like a casket match. But nope, it's just, nope, you go into the dumpster, and that's what Kalisto did, I guess. But as as Corey Graves and Michael Cole said,
it was a cheap way to kind of put Kalisto over, but then give Braun Strowman that moment where he snaps and destroys Kalisto afterwards. And yeah, I mean, we've had dumpster matches before. I think they said we had one at WrestleMania once or something like that, or King of the Ring. And I remember the New Age Outlaws had a tag match with Cactus Jack and
Chainsaw Charlie.
Chainsaw Charlie. And they basically did the same thing. They put him in the dumpster and throw him off the stage. Nothing we haven't seen before.
Right.
But yeah, they're really just booking Braun Strowman to be this freaking Goliath, and it just sucks, man. I feel like he's going to lose the reins on Sunday too.
That could happen, but I think a lot of people are heavily speculating that Braun Strowman's going to get the victory, so that way he gets momentum going against Brock Lesnar, because he's another one of those guys that people are really heavily getting behind, where it's like, oh, well, Brock Lesnar needs a challenger for the Universal title when he comes back. What are some names? Oh, Jeff Hardy, Braun Strowman. I'm sure Vince McMahon's just like, well, damn it, we have to make Braun Strowman look strong. I mean, oh, let's do this. He threw him in a dumpster. Let's have a dumpster match between him and Kalisto. The finish will be good. As long as Braun looks strong, then that's what matters right now. But yeah, as you said, he did look pretty strong going into it. I think that, maybe the stage looked a little bit smaller than back in the day. Like you mentioned, the whole New Age Outlaws, Chainsaw Charlie, Cactus Jack thing. I think it seemed like that stage was a little bit bigger, height-wise, than the ones that we have nowadays. But at the same time, it still was one of those spots where it's just like, oof, yeah, that's going to probably ring his bell just for a little bit. And am I the only one that actually thought that, when Kalisto was getting loaded up into the ambulance, that Braun Strowman was just going to overturn that ambulance over again?
I thought about it too. I was like, it wouldn't surprise me, but I was actually more shocked that they didn't do it than I would have been shocked if they did it again.
It would have honestly been... It would be one of those things where, again, people probably would have marked out just a little bit, but at the same time, I think that, you can't keep using the same thing over and over again, because then it loses its value. So I can understand why they didn't do it. I would have thought that they would have probably just had, Braun kill Kalisto a bit more. They had him go backstage. I'm thinking, here we go. Here comes Braun. He's going to overturn the stretcher. He's going to do something like that. And, that didn't happen, where it's like, huh. Well, I guess he proved his point against Kalisto then. All right. It is what it is.
Oh yeah, what you were saying too about Kalisto's outfit tonight, it kind of reminded me of Drago from Lucha Underground a little bit, with like that mask.
Oh my god, he actually did.
But I like it. I like it a lot better than what he was doing before. I don't know. I just think it looks cool. He's got the new theme song now.
I don't know. I guess I didn't notice too much, but I was probably more focused on the matchup.
He's got a new theme song now. It's almost like the lucha, but it's got like a different beat. It's like faster pace. It sounded a lot cooler, and it fits his ring attire a lot better.
Sweet. All right. Well, at least we get a little bit of change for Kalisto. But now the question is he going to be going into the Cruiserweight division, or is he going to possibly be a contender for the Intercontinental title? I mean, he's probably going to be taken off of TV for a little while. But I don't see, this Kalisto versus Braun Strowman thing turning into like a year-long feud or anything like that. I see like this being like the one where it's like, you know what, they're done with it. Now Kalisto can move on to doing something else. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Because who's the Intercontinental Champion right now? Dean Ambrose?
Yeah, Dean, I don't defend my title, Ambrose.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna throw him in an IC title match. I would love to see him in the cruiserweight division. That's where he should go. That's where he's gonna shine. And yeah, I think he should go there.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have to see. Let's move on to probably what was my favorite part of the entire night, and that being Alexa Bliss. Holy cow, was she on fire tonight on the microphone. From just her talking about, it's like the childhood dream and everybody wanted to be here, and just having like all this happy, lovey-dovey things coming out of her mouth, and then just making the joke of like, oh God, I felt like I wanted to puke after saying that. And then just owning the crowd by saying, we're really going to do this? Alexa Bliss is the best. Say what? And then they just say, what? Exactly. Legitly, I'm just like, oh my God, just put the belt on her right now. Dear Lord, have mercy. That was just, this promo between her, Sasha, and Bayley just made me think, oh God, she's filling the void of where Charlotte was, and she's just going leaps and bounds above it. I am really looking forward to this matchup, especially where Alexa says to Bayley, oh, your father's going to be here too. Well, it's going to be even more sweet for me, because not only do I get to beat you, humiliate you, but I get to do it in front of your dad. And it's just like, damn it, she is amazing. And I even sent out a tweet this tonight. I said, Alexa Bliss is basically like that high school girl that everybody wants to be friends with, even when she's a bitch. And, oh my God, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I stand by that statement, because holy crap, did she do amazing tonight.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has owned the what chant better than she did tonight. There's been a couple of good ones where, people start chanting what, and then someone will say something, but her response is by far the greatest I think I've ever heard anyone, because that one chant throws a lot of people off, and you can tell for some people it gets under their skin, because they're trying to talk and get these points across, and it's hard when thousands of people are screaming what, like, in the middle of your sentence. But she just threw it right back in their fucking faces, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I love her.
oh, trust me. I sent out a tweet that just said, I'm in a state of bliss, and I think I had like Donald up against a wall, just like hearts in his eyes and a heart just pounding from his chest. And it's like, yeah, I am, because Alexa Bliss is just one of the most, over heels right now in all of the women's division. And I want to ask you this question right now, because obviously this is going to be the main thing that a lot of people are going to be wanting to know. Who is going to be the first women to hold both the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Championship first? Is it going to be Charlotte, or is it going to be Bliss?
Well, you're kind of like cutting in and out, being muffled. So what was the question again?
The question,
you were fine for like half of it, and then you kind of like muffled out a little bit. And all I basically heard was Charlotte and Alexa Bliss.
Okay, well, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, who is going to win, the other championship first? Like, who do you see Charlotte winning the SmackDown championship first before Alexa Bliss wins the Raw title, or do you see it the other way around?
I really hope it's Alexa Bliss winning first, because I really want Naomi to keep that title for a bit.
Honestly, if Charlotte beats Naomi tomorrow, I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? I am staying away from the Jensen household for a while, because I know you'll probably be like, oh boy, and I could already see, your wife just going batshit crazy, like, why the fuck did she lose a title? Why, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be over here for about a week, maybe a month at least. But, yeah, that evolved into a matchup between Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, where Alexa Bliss was just like, you know what? I'm good. So she lost via countout. Bayley tried to get her back in the ring. Bliss just left. This all happened almost in like a blink of an eye, where Bliss just ran away. Bayley was getting cocky, and then Bliss just came back and just blasted her from behind. I am loving this build up to payback between Bliss and Bayley. It's going to be very hard to top by any means.
Yeah, I honestly, I really want Alexa Bliss to win. I was actually just telling Alicia earlier, we were watching it, and I looked at her, and I'm just like, I'm so over Bayley.
She is kind of like the generic.
I don't know what it is about her coming to the main roster. I was so pumped. I loved her so much when she first got here, and then ever since she's been champ, I don't know what it is, but I'm so over it.
I think it might be the whole generic babyface thing, because she is basically that. She does a lot of things where, she's like the fan favorite, and she's saying what everybody wants to hear, and just, appeasing more to the audience instead of, being, I think, genuine, which is always a problem, because when you're not genuine, that's where people are going to just turn against you, or it's just like, oh, you're just going to be one of those like carbon copies of some other random wrestler. Yeah, we're not going to get behind you. I think that's just my opinion on Bayley. I could be wrong. There could be a lot of other people that think otherwise, but I think that it's because she's a generic babyface. That's all there is to it.
Well, I mean, you can only talk about, the childhood dream so much. Like, they pumped it a lot when HBK won his first title at WrestleMania 12, the whole boyhood dream. They did that for a little bit with him. But, I don't know, like, for some reason with Bayley, it's just, annoying's not the right word, I don't think, but just, I don't know, it's too much, I'm sick of it. Like, we get it, you were a fan, you somehow made it this far, and everyone can achieve their dreams. Like, John Cena's still here, like, we don't need another one.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that John Cena doesn't always, bring up that same thing over and over again, where he's just like, as a kid I wanted to do this and blah, blah, blah. It's like every so often he does, but it's not like a consistent basis. That's the thing.
No, I mean, they don't anymore, but they did with him too, because they kept showing the picture of him as a child with his shirt off, holding up like that cardboard belt or whatever. But I've always said that Bayley is the female version of John Cena. Like the whole hug life and never give up on your dreams, and everyone can achieve their dreams if they try. It's just a female John Cena. It's never give up and hustle, loyalty, and respect, but just different.
Yeah, well, at least we have this women's title matchup to look forward to, and hopefully, my fingers are kind of crossed where it's just like, I want to see Bliss win the title this Sunday. Is it going to happen? Probably not, because I think that they're definitely still building up Bayley versus Sasha for either SummerSlam or sooner than that. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's talk about the main event situation. So we kicked off Monday Night Raw and closed with The Miz, Dean Ambrose, and Chris Jericho. Well, actually kicked off with Chris Jericho talking about his matchup with Kevin Owens. And then The Miz came out and basically said, the highlight reel is over. Let's bring out Miz TV. Dean Ambrose comes out and he says, nope, we're going to do the Ambrose Asylum. Crazy. This is where the madness basically starts. And Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose have a bit of an interaction where Jericho mentions, you still owe me like $15,000 for the jacket. And Dean Ambrose just says, I know. But here, let me at least make it up to you. And gives him this, suit jacket with Christmas lights, which, dear God, I mean, anybody that can pull that off, there's only one person that can pull that off, and that being Chris Jericho. So, totally.
Oh, I know. I especially love the part when he's about to open the gift, and he's like, last time I got one of these, didn't go so well for me. He pulls out the sport coat with the freaking Christmas lights. I don't know if they're stapled on there or sewed on there, but it looked tacky as hell. But then as soon as Jericho put it on, you're like, it's the jacket of Jericho. Try it on, man.
And this would have eventually build up to them announcing that the main event matchup would be Dean Ambrose versus